That is one nutty podcast. Tootsie, it's going up next.
Haven't Seen It with Tim Sestito and Tommy Tevenet. Hello, everybody. Welcome on in. Thank you all so much for listening today. This is a podcast where one of us is watching a movie for the very first time. And today, that is both of us. We had never seen the classic, the Sydney Pollack classic Tootsie, starring Dustin Hoffman. What a wacky little adventure he had on a soap opera.
It was a really fun movie overall. Like it just like kind of shocked me how much I liked it. But it's the reason why this is called a classic. I mean, we were saying earlier, AFI was this number 2 on like the all-time comedies.
All-time comedies, and it's like number
that seems
68. A little. Wait, no, this isn't that fun. There are 100 funnier movies in this. Doesn't necessarily mean a better movie, but like AFI, the Academy, like they don't look at comedy in the way that like comedy is meant to be viewed. Like they look in comedies in terms of like more physical presence and and it needs to have like the complete story elements to it, in my opinion. Where this will have that, but it's not as out loud funny.
This is more of like a character kind of study where it kind of takes it more seriously, matter of like what it's about. It's such a guy cross-dressing. Dustin Hoffman said himself that he doesn't view this as a comedy.
No, so I wouldn't view it as a comedy either. But we're going to talk about Tootsie in just a couple minutes. Tommy, what did you watch this weekend?
All right, so lately I've been watching The Last of Us on HBO. It's been a great adaptation, but that's not what I'm here to talk about because we're a movie podcast, not a TV show podcast. And so I'm going to recommend. I watched Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead, the original, the remake rather. We covered the original on the podcast back in October, and the remake is the only Zack Snyder movie I'll ever defend. To me, I heard your fucking grumbling right there. It's the only time you can see where James Gunn wrote the script for this movie. So you have James Gunn writing the script and then Zack Snyder directing. And when Zack Snyder has an actual good script by a good scriptwriter like James Gunn, you can see how it pays off a little bit. So it's a very fun, 2000s action zombie movie. I would recommend it if you're in the mood for something like that. It's dumb fun.
I heard James Gunn is going to bring Zack Snyder back for the new Superman reboot.
Oh God, no! He probably wants nothing to do with Zack Snyder at this point.
No, I don't think many people want anything to do with Zack Snyder at this point. But yeah, I can't wait. Like DC is just 10 years too late on their whole cinematic universe. Like it flopped. And I feel the Marvel fatigue. Like I feel it from people, like when you talk about it, and there's so many more people who are just like, yeah, man, like I'm kind of done with these movies. Also, I didn't watch Wakanda Forever, but I saw an action scene on a bridge, and it was like literally the worst action I've ever seen in my life. It was just terrible.
All right.
Completely out of context. I understand.
Completely out of context and like a fucking like grainy clip on Twitter or something like that. I'm not gonna be the MCU defender. I mean, I've gotten to a point where it's oversaturated at this point. Like, there's too many shows, but the movies, most of them are at least enjoyable for what they are. And I mean, they're not gonna be must see events now, where it's just like this is great, but I don't know.
What about Quantumania?
I'm gonna say that because Paul Rudd. I mean, that's a whole other story.
I haven't seen any of the Ant-Mans. I don't really have an interest.
Yeah, they're fun little like quirky comedies. They're not like must see Marvel events at this for the most part. But I think James Gunn's definitely gonna do a good job with DC. I mean, he seems like he actually cares about the characters, and like that's what they should have done from the beginning. Hire someone that's just like an actual ideas man and like a writer, and focus on the story. And so I'm excited to see where it comes out. His DC movies were great. Like Suicide Squad was his version of Suicide Squad was great. And,
you have to make the distinction there because the original one is so bad.
Yeah, the original
it's literally one of the worst movies ever made.
Yeah, seriously. So I mean, like, thankfully he took over right the ship there. So I mean, like, I'll see whatever James Gunn does at this point.
So you're a James Gunn fanboy, is that it?
Yeah.
I like that you put your thumbs up on an audio only show, Tommy. I just appreciate
someone
that
needs to know.
You.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. Instead of having a conversation, you just throw your thumb up like and grin at
Well,
me. And
that
I'm
said
looking at you.
something.
I'm literally looking at you, being like, Tommy, you got to speak to me, man. What are you doing?
It's been a haze of a day. We're recording this back to back with another episode, so we did a movie marathon today, 4 hours straight of movies. So I'm a little bit of loopy.
Don't you do that like every weekend?
No, not as much anymore. I can't hang that way anymore.
Wow, you're getting old, dude.
Yeah.
Getting old. I saw Margin Report, which was great.
Okay.
And do you know what Margin Report is, Tommy?
I haven't heard anything about this now.
It's an excellent movie about the housing bubble in 2008, but it's from the trading broker perspective and the people that discovered the risk margin that they had in terms of like the portfolios they were selling and coming to action with it. And it was a masterclass in screenplay. Like it was so well written. The way that they unveil the information of what's going on, like they don't tell you anything. There's no terrible screenplay, and it just gives you an insight. Like the main insight of that movie is those banks will cause an economic, or these trading brokers will cause an economic collapse to make sure that they're not holding the bag. And it just takes place over the course of one night. Excellent performances. Highly recommend it. Maybe we'll watch it on the podcast, but I do think it might put you to sleep because I think anything related to business, you'll just be like, oh. No, but it does a really good job. It really does a really good job of simplifying it down and putting a lot of tension in the air regarding what's going on. And,
as long as they frame it well, I mean,
it's framed so well. It's just really excellent performances. Kevin Spacey, taboo, but obviously still great performance. Jeremy Irons, Paul Bettany, Zachary Quinto, just really all around excellent performances. Would highly recommend Margin Report if you have not seen Margin Report.
Yeah,
and we'll cover it. I'm gonna make Tommy watch a movie that he's probably gonna be like, I could see why this was good. I wanted to go to sleep.
Yeah, there's sometimes like when we watched the Matrix sequel that came out last year.
That movie sucked.
That was like the only movie I think we watched for the pod where like I actively was like, this feels like homework right now. Like, what the fuck am I doing?
I felt that a little bit with The Wedding Singer. I'm not gonna lie, but
yeah, That's so. Anyways,
we'll get into it, but we're not talking about The Wedding Singer on this episode because that's either coming out before or after this one. But we're talking about Tootsie.
But I didn't know I was going to be working for the rest of my life as a woman.
When you have to go this far.
It is just for the money, isn't it? It's not just so you can wear these little outfits.
To get this big.
I'd like to make her look a little more attractive. How far can you pull back?
How do you feel about Cleveland?
Life can get very crazy.
I don't want to hurt you. All right, just shut your mouth right now.
I think we're getting into a weird area here.
Dustin Hoffman is Tootsie, rated PG. Starts Friday at a theater near you.
So Tootsie was like a mega hit. It was an absolute mega hit when it came out. I did not realize how big this was. It earned over $177 million in the US and Canada and $64 million internationally. Like in the 80s, that's huge, especially for a movie about a cross-dressing man.
Yeah.
To get a better job.
This is the second best, highest grossing film of 1982. That's insane to think about. Because, like, think about a comedy wouldn't do that those numbers these days.
That's because they don't make funny comedies anymore. They make like these half baked, like comedy. I will say this: I think The Hangover is a fun, good movie. I think it's a funny movie. I think it was maybe the worst things to happen to comedies. Because it was such a mega hit. It set this precipice in the 2010s that all these comedies need to have a lot of plot in them. And I would argue comedies are like the genre that need like the loosest amount of plot possible. Like all about the jokes. It's all about making you laugh and
the characters and stuff like that. That's what matters most. I mean, this is why this movie works. There's plot, but the characters, they put a huge focus on them, I feel like, and that's what makes it really good, like what makes it hit.
Yeah, and it's more story beats based around Tootsie, Dorothy, and Michael Dorsey and his crazy life. He's an out of work actor. He's a very talented actor, but he's a giant pain in the ass. And his agent just tells him, "Hey, man, you're a giant pain in the ass, and nobody on this earth wants to work with you." And so he goes in for a soap opera audition that his kind of girlfriend, but not really girlfriend, wasn't able to get, dressed as a woman, and gets the part. And on the soap opera, Southwestern Hospital. Yeah, at Southwestern Hospital. And it was very interesting because you could see the profound effect that Dorothy has on everybody on set, the way that she's able to instinctively get into the character, or I don't know. I'm gonna just get confused with the pronouns. So if you're a pronouns person, I'm not gonna apologize, but fair warning right here. She just has a profound effect on everybody on the cast. It's the way that they influence the story, like improvising, like becoming a strong woman and becoming one of the most popular characters on the show. And it's interesting to me that nobody figured out that this was a man.
You said that earlier, like you like caught it immediately. You're like, I would have seen that. I disagree with you. I mean, I think that what's good about this is that like they don't make out Dustin Hoffman as Dorothy to be like this like very hot woman and like very
Dustin Hoffman would not be a good looking woman. Actually proof and point.
Yeah, proven point right there. I mean, he said it himself too. But it would be one thing if like that was like the thing, and like everyone's like, oh, but they made her kind of just like middle-aged woman, and like I could kind of buy it a little bit. That like I didn't see the scenes as much as you did.
No, I just feel like I don't know. It was just something about the chin line and the hair, and it was just like I felt like I would have saw through it. And like obviously they can't see through it in this movie because it's a movie, and this movie would not be fun. It would have been, I think it would have been a nice through line they could have put in there, somebody just being slightly suspicious of it the whole time.
Trying to out him out at the whole time, or it's just like we know what you are.
Yeah.
What I liked about this movie is that like cross-dressing has been a thing in movies as like plots for a while. I mean, like you have like Some Like It Hot, which was obviously a classic. But on the other end, you have like shitty sorority movie called Sorority Boys, which is like some terrible teen comedy from the 2000s.
Tommy, tell me you watched it for the boobs. To tell me you watched it for the boobs.
No, I watched it because our friend made us watch it like fucking in his basement a year or two ago.
Were there boobs in it?
I think there were, but
yeah. So that's why you watched it.
No, I was like, I guess we'll watch it. But anyways, regardless, that was a movie that did not handle that subject matter very well. Whereas this one, like, the butt of the joke is never really much on like Dustin Hoffman be like, oh, how wacky it is, like he's doing all this shit, but like it doesn't make fun of him. It's more so just like little hijinks of like him not wanting to get kissed by the main doctor actor over and over again, and just like it didn't feel demeaning, and it kind of aged well in a way I didn't expect for this movie to age.
Well, I think that's probably why it resonated with audiences at the time. I don't think audiences appreciate the punch down humor. Like it came into fad in the 90s and died away pretty quickly by the mid 2000s, like that punch down humor.
Yeah.
But I even think of like a movie that probably has it in it, like American Pie. It's probably done much more tasteful than some straight to DVD boob movie. That's what I call those movies. Those are boob movies.
Those are movies you watch when you're 13 years old because you're like, oh shit, there might be boobs in this.
Yeah, and that was at a time when you didn't have a Rolodex of horrors in your pocket on Instagram. I can't even imagine what a 13-year-old boy's Instagram following tab looks like. It must be obscene.
Yeah,
it must be obscene.
the worst fucking thing ever. But it's just like the casting in this was great with Dustin Hoffman right here, where he plays both roles pretty well. And there's a little bit of distinction between Dorothy and Michael. You can see, at least from a voice performance or a mannerism performance, where the kind of fish out of water aspect kind of plays a little well.
But you see it more. You see it being them coming together too, and he like leans in, like he's very masculine as an actor, and like in form of being disagreeable and being like, I know better, I know best. and he portrays that through Dorothy, but he's much more apologetic about it, even though he's defending his point. He'll just be like, listen, I'm so sorry, but this is how I feel, and it's like, if you had done that more when you were a dude, you probably would be a pretty successful actor instead of an out of work teaching coach.
Yeah, he needed to learn like little subtlety and like not to be an immediate asshole all the time, because like you could see almost instantly in this movie that he tries to derail the production, and like if he was being his more aggressive like guy self, like typical Michael, that's what got him kicked off all those sets.
Oh yeah, and Michael, one of the things I wanted to talk about with Michael is his relationship with Sandy, one of his students, Terry Garr. And actually a moment that I thought was so funny was when he just became Tootsie or Dorothy, and he's at her apartment. They're going to go out just as friends, and he sees a dress that he would really like, and he wanted to see if it would fit. So he strips down, and she comes out of the shower, and he's just like, I want to sleep with you so bad. I want you, Sandy.
Yeah.
Even though his hands are over his crotch.
Yeah. Immediately he was able to go into seduction mode and just like fucking got his friend right there.
Well, I wouldn't call it a great relationship. Because that's not
that's the thing with
who he loves.
He learns a little bit of a lesson in this movie, but I think throughout he's still kind of a jackass at the end of the movie, where I think one of the first things I told you when we were discussing this before we started recording was it's total fucking bullshit, like Hollywood bullshit at the end of this movie, that Julie is just like, yeah, I'll come back to you, like I'll be friends with you again, like I'll hang out with you again. Like she would have been like, no, you fucking creep, like you made me think you're a girl for like the past like what month or two. How long was
6 months?
6 months.
Just being like, I was only doing it for the work. I swear, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, then that's fine, totally. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about all this other stuff. Or like Gina Davis, like, or she probably would have been like freaking out that like I was in a changing room with you this whole time, like you fucking creep.
This is Gina Davis in her debut, and
yeah,
she looked good. So Gina Davis and I have a very intimate relationship. I saw A League of Their Own when I was 3 or 4, and I was like mesmerized by her beauty, and I was like, I like girls. I knew. It was Gina Davis that let me know.
Right
and
there.
I'm a big baseball fan, so I think the two have just kind of got muddled together in my brain. Like that's a big awakening. That's a big awakening.
I was really bummed. One of the venues I worked at had a Q&A with her back in October that I missed. That would have been really fun to see, because like she did a whole autobiography and stuff like that, and she talked about how Dustin Hoffman gave her great advice in the world of acting, of like turning down a man's advances when they're trying to come towards you and stuff like that. So they just developed a good relationship, it seemed like, or friendship.
Oh, that's good. That's actually good to know. Yeah, I'd imagine even you know what it is though? It's like, I guess you could even see it where it was like he wasn't ogling at Gina Davis. Like when you first see Gina Davis and they're sharing the dressing room and she's just in her underwear and he's like not looking at her really. He's like looking at the mirror. He's like commenting on everything other than her body.
Yeah, he's like uncomfortable in this situation, whereas like, the terrible boob TV version of this would have been like the guy ogling being like, oh shit, oh god, or something like that, like very broy.
Like breaking character for a minute. Oh fuck, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just like awful. It's shit like that. It's like, but like I said, like his character is just as uncomfortable in that situation where he's just like, I don't want to be in this situation right now. Get me out of this.
I think a good scene to bring up is, and because we've been talking about kind of like the difference between the character, and we should introduce Tootsie here, or Dorothy. I'm going to just get them confused. It's just going to happen because the director calls her Toots all the time, hence Tootsie. And when she's trying to get the audition and she gets denied immediately, how Michael Dorothy is able to kind of bounce back from that.
Read of this line that you have every right to happiness. I hate it.
Ron, this is Dorothy Michaels, our director, Ron Carlisle.
Hi,
and
how
that's
are
our
you?
producer, Rita Marshall. Dorothy didn't bring a resume, but George Fields is her agent.
That's very impressive.
Gosh, I'm afraid you're not right for this role, though, honey. I'm sorry.
Thanks for coming by.
Page 285. Do you want camera 1 or 2 on that?
Camera 2, and tell Art about that.
Why am I not right, Mr. Carlisle?
Well, I'm just trying to make a certain statement here, and I'm looking for a very specific physical type.
Mr. Carl, I'm an actress. I'm a character actress. I can play this part any way you want.
Honey, I'm sure that
Why
you're a
don't you
very,
give me an
very good
idea what you're
actress. It's
looking
just
for?
that you're a little bit too soft
What?
and genteel. You're not threatening enough.
Not threatening enough? How's this? You take your hands off me, or I'm gonna knee your balls right through the roof of your mouth. Is that enough of a threat?
To start?
Yes, I think I know what y'all really want. You want some gross caricature of a woman to prove some idiotic point, like power makes women masculine or masculine women are ugly. Well, shame on the woman that lets you do that, on any woman that lets you do that. And that means you, dear. Miss Marshall, shame on you, you macho shithead.
Jesus.
What is idiotic about power making a woman masculine? Not that that was my point.
So funny, like being like power makes a woman masculine, even though it's a man's saying that.
Yeah. The whole juxtaposition of that is fucking hilarious. I would have loved to see a version of this movie where he just like still can't make it as an actress as Dorothy.
That was the first draft.
Yeah, the first draft where it's just like he constantly goes into other auditions and he still finds out that he can't get hired as an actor.
Yeah, but the part is that he's actually a good actor, and like they do that montage in the beginning of him and he's doing his performances, and there's just all these reasons why people don't want to work with him. And then there's that great scene where he goes to his agent's office and they go back and forth, and it's like, Michael, you're a pain in the ass. Nobody in town wants to work with you. Just in New York, I'll go to no. We're talking coast to coast here. Nobody wants to work with you. and then it just hard cuts to Dorothy walking down, which I actually appreciated, instead of doing some like weird buildup of like the legs. Like, you know what the titular character is, you know what the premise of the movie is. It's just a hard cut. And then you see his process of how he maintains the hair, the makeup, how he does all of that. And he does it well, as it's paced well. This is a really well directed movie by
Sydney Pollack himself, who was the agent in this movie, where Dustin Hoffman's makeup process in the movie was insane, but also on set was insane. It took him 2 hours every day, where he had to shave his legs, arms, and backs of his fingers while in a sauna, tapping back his facial skin to tighten his features, and installing daintier-looking false teeth. And no amount of makeup, though, could conceal Dustin Hoffman's 5 o'clock shadow for that long. So he could only be filmed for 3 to 4 hours at a time before like the 5 o'clock shadow started popping up a little bit.
Really? That quickly?
Yeah.
Damn, he's a hairy ass man.
Yeah, seriously. So fucking Hoffman right there. But I do like how Sydney Pollack pops up in this movie as the agent. I think their little rapport is hilarious and just like a really great like comedic highlight throughout. Apparently, Pollack was saying that Dustin Hoffman refused to keep working on this movie until Pollack played his agent, and Pollack refused until Dustin Hoffman's agent intervened, and so that's how they got in. They apparently were quarreling so much on set, Pollack and Hoffman, that this is almost like a cathartic thing of them just vent out their frustrations to each other during these scenes, and you can kind of see that a little bit.
Oh yeah, you can see that there is a dislike between the two of them.
Yeah,
it is. This is a working relationship exclusively.
Yeah, exactly. Like they never worked again. They almost worked again on their movie like years later, but never came to fruition. This is the only time that they ever Sydney Pollack directed Dustin Hoffman, because I mean Hoffman's I think notorious for being kind of an asshole, right?
Well, not to Gina Davis apparently, but to everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. Gina Davis is the one person that got spared.
The one person that likes him. Although I've heard Dustin Hoffman was a treat on the set of Ishtar.
Yeah, feature movie. We definitely have to cover it.
We have to cover it. We have to cover Ishtar. Oh my god, that's my favorite movie trailer of all time.
Yeah, it looks fucking amazing. So this is a random like offbeat thing about the movie, but there's one point when like they show the montage of people watching Tootsie, like the what's it called, Southwest General.
Yeah,
whatever the hospital.
Yeah, whatever the hospital show is.
So there's the montage, and there's one shot of a secretary who's like watching it at work, and she has like a tablet. It looks like,
and it's a portable TV.
I was wondering the whole time. I was like, "What the fuck is that?" Because
it was a portable TV. It was either crank or it was battery powered.
Yeah, I was thinking like, were tablets around the '80s? It kind of like fucked with me for a little bit.
Oh, Tommy! Oh, you sweet summer child!
Exactly. The things I don't know about '80s tech.
Oh my god, Tommy!
Yeah.
Our older audience is going to cringe at that one.
Yeah, seriously. So
You literally thought it was a tablet?
no, I obviously I didn't know. I knew it wasn't a tablet, but I was just like, what is the technology they're called? Because I didn't think stuff like that existed in the 80s.
So we do need to talk about Julie, played by Jessica Lange, who won an Academy Award. She's an actress on Southwest General, and Michael, Dorothy, falls in love with her, and while Dorothy and Julie build a kinship, a nice friendship up together.
Mhm.
And I think the funniest thing is that her father, played by Charles Durning, like falls in love with Dorothy.
Yeah.
And just her power, and like proposes to her after meeting her 2 times.
Yeah. When you're older, didn't know time like the present.
No time like the present. But I felt like we got a lot into her character and a lot of an understanding of who she is. Just based off the relationship of Dorothy and Julie and their just interactions together. And Julie is just confused. She's dating Ron, the director, and we see him hooking up with Gina Davis. I'm pretty sure that was Gina Davis while on the set, even though that's not who he's dating.
Mm.
And it was very interesting, and a very interesting like conflict of the heart, and an interesting way to frame that in terms of like they became friends because Julie thought that Dorothy was a woman.
Yeah.
And Michael, who was playing Dorothy, just was in love with her.
Yeah, straight up.
And we were saying before, like it's the most Hollywood bullshit ending. Like it's not implied that they end up getting together, but they rekindle the friendship at a minimum.
Yeah.
Like this movie would have sunk so hard if there was some generic kiss at the end.
But yeah, if they went explicit with it, I mean, like, you could maybe see, but it seems like such a massive breach of trust for me. I'm like, Jesus. I mean, Jessica Lange though was just amazing. Like, when she was talking to him, like about like, what's it to be an actress and everything like that, and her apartment, those scenes together, them just one on one were really compelling. I do think Sandy, that character got a little bit of a short stick in this movie, but I mean, like Julie herself was great.
Yeah, well, I think Terry Garr was really great as Sandy, but I think that was kind of the point, is that like once Michael becomes Dorothy, we don't see that much of Michael, and we see a lot of him like getting in and out of costume, but we don't really see him that much. And like that's implied by the lack of screen time that Sandy has, because she's in most of the movie for the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then from there, she's seen here or there. And I think the point is that you're kind of supposed to forget about her because Michael clearly has forgotten about her.
Clearly just like push her to the wayside, and like, most of the time she's in the movie for the rest of the movie is just her like sitting at dinner alone waiting for fucking Dustin Hoffman, being like, where is this asshole?
Yeah, and I mean, I think the only reason he got into a relationship with her was so that he didn't break his cover as Dorothy. Like he didn't tell her, because she was the one that auditioned for this part originally, and was like, I'm trying to protect her, because if she knew that I got this part, she would kill herself. Like, I think that's the line word for word. Like she would kill herself.
I wish that like there's almost a part where like you could see almost every character's reaction and find out more about Dorothy, because like really only we get is Julie and Julie's dad. Like I would have loved to see like Terry Garr like months later talking to him, being like, it's like, what were you doing? Like what the hell was going on with your mind like this whole time?
Like, what the fuck were you thinking? Yeah.
And
I actually thought this movie in the screenplay did really good, interesting parallels. When Dorothy confronts Ron at Julie's apartment before they're going on a date, and Julie's going to break up with him, and Ron's like, why don't you like me? And he gives this whole spiel about like him two-timing her, him dating other women, him being like, hey, whoa, we weren't in an exclusive relationship. And then he gets back to his apartment, and Sandy's outside banging on the door, And it kind of gets revealed that because he hands her the box of chocolates that Julie's father gives him the notes to Dorothy. And then he's like, whoa, I didn't know we weren't not stating, like he gave the exact same speech that Ron gave to him when he was confronted about it. And it was just clever little screenplay moments like that of just nice, clever callbacks that fit within the character. Really made for like a strong performance. And
it's definitely a flawed character in general. I mean, like I said, I don't think Dustin Hoffman fully redeemed himself at the end of this. He's not like fully selfless or whatever. He's still a little bit of an asshole. I don't think he's fully learned from like all this like problems. He's still, like you said that right there, that scene right there of Sandy, it just shows that he's still kind of stuck in his own ways.
Yeah, he's somebody that's stuck in his own way, and he's somebody that would just never change. But being Dorothy allowed him to understand how to channel his energy better. Is kind of like my takeaway from Dorothy. It showed him a way to communicate his points across and still find success without burning every single bridge to the ground.
Yeah. It's just a matter of like subtlety, just learn to be a little less aggressive and stuff. So we haven't talked about him yet. Bill Murray's in this movie.
Bill Murray is in this movie. And I have a clip of my favorite part of Bill Murray right at the beginning of this movie because it just made me laugh so hard when he is drunk talking about being a playwright.
I don't want a full house at the Winter Garden Theater. I want 90 people who just came out of the worst rainstorm in the city's history. These are people who are alive on the planet until they dry off. I wish I had a theater that was only open when it rained. I don't like it when people come up to me after my plays and say, I really dug your message, man. Or, I really dug your play, man. I cried. You know? I like it when people come up to me the next day or a week later and they say, I saw your play. What happened? I did a thing about suicides of the American Indian. And nobody cared, nobody showed. And I think the American Indian is as American as John and Ethel Barrymore and Donnie and Marie Osmond. I think it's really sad, but I think that nowadays when people dream, they don't even dream in their own country anymore. And that's sick.
So apparently Bill Murray improvised pretty much all of that.
That makes sense. You can definitely see it. What I like about apparently Bill Murray, like this was right when he was starting to pop off. I mean, like Stripes was the year before, Caddyshack was 2 years before this. So he had like, Stripes, Meatballs.
He was gaining momentum.
Yeah, right before Ghostbusters, before he became like a total pop culture osmosis type thing.
Before he became an A-lister. But don't call it pop culture osmosis. Call it an A-lister. It's what it is, Tommy.
All right, before he became an A-lister, whatever you want. But, peak cultural saturation right there. But like, him in just a supporting role right here in a movie like this was amazing. I mean, like just the fact that he was the one voice of reason throughout, where he's like, "Yeah, I think you're going to hell for doing this." Like,
I don't believe. Buddy? He's like, I don't believe in hell, but I do believe in unemployment. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, and he was the perfect friend for this situation because it is a romantic comedy, but it's not really a romantic comedy. It's a satire. It's a satire on the genre in and of itself, and I think setting the show as a soap opera is also another satirical element because soap operas have their reputation as, corny BS that's just, kind of cheap writing, cheap plots that just keeps a base audience entertained. And I think that kind of adds to the satirical nature of it. And then having somebody like as sharp as Bill Murray in the best friend role, because usually the guys in the best friend role are either like super meaty or super soft. And then you just have like Bill Murray. And he was just playing Bill Murray. He was not acting. He was playing Bill Murray.
He probably ad-libbed like all of his dialogue.
Yeah, that would not surprise me if he ad-libbed pretty much all of his dialogue. Like when Sandy was banging on the door and Michael has to get out of Dorothy and like the wigs in the kitchen and like, oh, I'm just waking up from a nap. Oh, give me 1 second. I'll come grab the thing. And it takes like 10 minutes while he's cleaning up the apartment of any evidence of Dorothy. Yeah. And it's just funny. Like he just has that screen presence. Whatever it is about Bill Murray, he can just command
Yeah,
a room
take
like
over the
that.
movie.
Yeah, he can just really take over the movie. And it, obviously that just explains his career. But him and Dustin Hoffman had really good chemistry there, going back and forth. And it was good that there was somebody that could challenge Michael without Michael flipping a lid, and that was the only person in the movie that could challenge him.
Yeah, the chill response where it's like, you're just my friend, so I'm not going to give you too much shit, but like, come on, like, he needed someone. We need someone in the script to be like, this idea is insane. Like, just laying it out there.
Because it's only him and his agent that know that he's
Yeah.
Michael. Actually, the scene where he introduces Dorothy to the agent, and he's outside the Russian tea room, and he plays like a pretend. He plays Dorothy like she's lost. Then she follows him into the restaurant and sits down, and then he just drops his voice. It's me, George. It's me, it's Michael.
It's great stuff right there.
It was pretty incredible. I'm not gonna lie.
I am a star. I'm a star, I'm a star, I'm a star. I am a big, bright, shining star.
So, Tommy, who is the star of Tootsie?
Well, I think this is a very obvious one for us. Dustin Hoffman. I mean, because think about, like, the dual performance role and stuff like that. And I was thinking while watching this movie, I was like, I would probably break character so fucking quickly if I was somehow in a situation like this where I had to like be in disguise, even just to keep up a voice the whole time. There's been no shot. Like, I would have just like immediately like voice crack or something like that, or just deeper voice being like,
Give me your best
happened.
Dorothy voice right now.
Oh, I do behave.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're not getting.
Immediately my voice just cracked.
Yeah, you're not getting in the room, but you're also not a trained actor like Michael is. Like Dustin Hoffman is. I think I'm gonna go with Julie Nichols because I think she's the heart of the movie, and just she gives just such like a personal, intimate performance. Like you can just feel that she really connected with this character, being the single mother that's just confused in her career and in her personal life and in what she wants. And then her new best friend, obviously being a woman that her dad's in love with. That's a man. Probably added on to that confusion, let's be honest.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. But yeah, I think it was Julie Nichols. I just loved her performance, and she just captivated the screen every time she was on it.
Yeah, Jessica Lange was great in this movie, and like she won an Academy Award for a reason.
Oh, Jessica Lange. I'm sorry, I get the names confused. I've also had a couple beers.
Are you ready, comedy partner? Waka waka.
So, Tommy, would Tootsie work as a Muppet adaptation? I think this is an interesting one.
I would it be like Kermit dresses up as Miss Piggy? Would that be the movie essentially?
No, I think Dustin Hoffman's the human in this, and you
Dustin
got to
Hoffman's
change
human?
everything into everything else into Muppets. Yeah,
Because there are some like little broad comedic moments right here where, like, the main doctor on the soap opera where he constantly just looking over at the cue cards constantly, and you could obviously play it up with a little bit more of Muppets if it has Sam the Eagle in that role or something.
and then when he tries to rape Dorothy in the apartment,
yeah,
and then Bill Murray walks in at the right time.
Yeah, you keep Bill Murray and you keep Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, you keep Dustin Hoffman, you keep Bill Murray. Yeah, I mean, I think there's like moments of this that could work, like when they're filming the show. But I think like the emotional stuff, that's not really the Muppets. Like they have their little moments, but not as deep as this.
Would it be that instead of like dressing up as like just a human woman, like he tries to dress up as a Muppet woman?
Oh yes,
yeah, that's how you unlock it.
That's how you unlock it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See the Muppet adaptation. We're in an age where trans rights are much more in vogue than they were in the 1980s.
That probably wouldn't go over well.
No, I think you could get away with it now.
Maybe, yeah. So
this movie does not punch down on that community whatsoever, which is probably what gives it its status still today. Like if this movie was a punching down movie, it would not hold up at all in a modern
people
audience.
Be like, oh, remember that fucking like terrible movie? Like, like how Revenge of the Nerds is like one of those movies now where it's just like, yeah, there's some really problematic shit in that movie.
Yeah, but there's still funny moments in Revenge of the Nerds. But there's also stuff that they wouldn't put in a screenplay today.
Yeah. So
So Tootsie maybe is a Muppet adaptation. I don't think it's 100%. I don't think we're getting green lit on it, but I would do the screenplay adaptation, no problem. I think it could maybe work.
Possibly, yeah.
All right, Tommy, review time. Give me your score out of 5.
So this was a double feature I did today with we were also covering the pod. I did like this. Dustin Hoffman is really funny. Bill Murray's really funny, and there's great little comedic moments and a little bit of heart too. I'm gonna go 4 out of 5 for this.
I'm also gonna go 4 out of 5. I thought it was really well directed, really great performances, nice screenplay. Not the greatest movie. The ending kind of ruined it for me a little bit, where you're just like, oh, like she should have said no and walked away. The movie would have been much better, but it got the Hollywood ending, which is fine. But it was a nice, fun, enjoyable movie. I understand why it is considered a classic. 4 out of 5 for me. Highly recommend it. So Tommy, any final thoughts?
All right. So thank you guys so much for listening. You can follow us on social media at SeenItPod. That's on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And leave us 5-star reviews. While you're listening, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, really helps us out. And we're wrapping up our February month with Meet the Parents. So get ready for that one.
Meet the Parents. Not my favorite movie. But thank you all so much for listening today. We'll see you next week.